Hi, my name is Livia. I would like to, well, first thank you for being here, and I'll try to be very brief. So I think we're all discussing here solutions for the European crisis, and what I get from your speech, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is that the European Central Bank should do some measures in order to, well, inject monetary solutions to Spain, for example, by creating money or buying our bonds, because obviously our interest rates are very high, and this would lead to smaller interest rates. My question simply is, this is called inflation, right? Don't you think inflation is theft? Because since it decreases the purchase power of people, this is actually theft. It would lead the people, ironically, to austerity back, because what you have doesn't really pay what you thought it would. And on the other hand, everybody would be paying the cost of a crisis, which, when actually the real responsibles for the crisis wouldn't be implied. So this is simply my question, if inflation is not considered that theft.
Well, I think it's, inflation is only theft if you consider anything that people didn't expect that affects some people for the worst theft. I mean, there is no promise. A euro note does not promise on it that it's going to have a fixed purchasing power in terms of goods. That was not part of the deal. A bond. There are bonds where you are protected against inflation, and they are inflation-protected bonds, and people pay a premium for that. And that's so it's not theft in any legal sense. And if you're worried about people who are not responsible for the crisis paying the price for the crisis, how about the 25% of Spain's labor force who are unemployed? How many of those people caused this crisis? I mean, what's actually happening is an enormous price is being paid by unemployed workers all across the Western world. And if I can find, if a little bit of inflation, no one is talking Zimbabwe, no one is even talking even 5%. If 3% inflation is a way to get some of those innocent victims out of their misery, I would think that's something well worth doing. It seems to me a strange kind of morality that is desperately concerned that people who bought bonds might be somewhat surprised by a modest erosion of the value of those bonds, and that's a terrible sin. But that having people who did nothing wrong be unemployed and have their lives destroyed is just part of the way the capitalist system is supposed to work.
Gracias, profesor. ¿Algún comentario?